In today's business segment, we're going to cover drone generators, drone network websites, and whether we think whether they're viable source of income for drone operators and what should people consider when getting into these things and what should they expect. I don't really have much experience with these things. I'm kind of curious myself about that. Not that I want to like rush out and sign up for any of these. We can do just well with PhotoFlight. But I know that you have some experience with some of these, and you've tried, and you've been on some jobs with a few of these sites.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick your brain. I'm gonna rely on you heavily in this. Which ones did you sign up for? And if you can talk us a little bit about what kind of jobs, and maybe one by one, what's your experience? So, which is your favorite one?
Favorite one would be Dronebase.
Dronebase.
Yeah.
Okay. What's Dronebase?
Dronebase, they're out of California. It's mainly real estate, videography, and photography that you're going to be doing. And they also have tower inspection, or they were talking about tower inspections. They also have Getty missions. So you can submit video to Getty.
So they're like a door or a gate to Getty images?
They're the gateway to Getty.
Okay. What else do they do? Is that it?
I'm trying to think. I think that's it.
That's it?
Off the top of my head, yeah.
That's a lot.
That's all that I've ever done with them.
So you've done all of these with them. Each one of those, you got at least one job. And really, what did you send to Getty? Did you actually sell anything through Getty?
No, I haven't sold anything.
Yeah, you haven't.
It's just general stock photography from places I've been.
Do you send a lot of?
Cityscapes.
Do you send a lot of stuff to them?
Anytime I do something around a city, I will try to cut it up and upload whatever, the best clips.
Gotcha.
That I'm not going to put into my own video.
Okay. Do you find it? What do they pay? Do you know what their pay structure is?
Not for the Getty.
Yeah.
But I can tell you about the real estate.
Yeah.
And they're called client missions because they used to have these pano missions, which they got rid of, and you would just show up to a location that their algorithm said would be a good spot or a good likelihood that if they had a 360 shot, then they might be able to market it to the owner of the building and sell it. And those were like $15 to $20 payouts, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. And
That's
but before
and were they like random missions, or were they already paying clients?
Oh, they were random.
So they were random. So you would only get the money if they actually sold it to somebody. And they were trying to randomly select buildings that they could have a luck.
Yeah, and
selling.
so they were pulling addresses like from Zillow, and Trulia, and I think another real estate site.
Okay.
And their likelihood of, whether or not.
Gotcha. So do the owners of the real estate property actually know that you're doing this?
Not for the panos, but they have gotten rid of them, so they're not doing that anymore. Because it was kind of a waste.
And it's it is, and it could be a little controversial. Actually, I can't imagine that everybody. Wouldn't it feel awkward? I mean, to me, the owners have to know what you're doing with the drone around their property. So did you do any of these jobs?
Yeah, I did.
Did you ever have a problem with anyone actually walking out and asking you what you're doing?
No, well, I was pretty stealthy.
I know, but do you really have to be, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a strange approach to the business to be, I guess sometimes you have to be stealthy, but real estate for $20.
Yeah. Well, I think it was a way to get in touch with clients that they could then market their client missions to, which is the thing that actually pays you.
So for one reason or another, that's gone. So what do the real estate missions look like now from them?
Okay, so you might get they might ask you for an orbit shot, for video. So you're just circling the property at about 100 feet. You can also submit any creative shots that you come up with, and then they'll have a reveal of the front of the house or something like that. And then if they have the photo package. It's kind of interesting what they ask for because the deliverable they ask for, I would never give to a client. I don't see the value in it. So what they ask you for, the cardinal directions at 10 feet, 100 feet, and 350.
Yeah.
And so that means 8 images at each height.
It does make sense. I do actually like structure the real estate shoots like that, but I take my time. I don't send all of them to the clients. I don't know if they do or not, or maybe they just pick through them and then
that could be what they're doing.
Deliver what? Okay,
I don't know what they're doing, and they require you to take them with JPEG. They don't want RAW.
Okay. Easier transfers.
Yeah.
So so you go there, you take all these pictures. Do you have to edit them or
no editing?
Okay. So how do these pictures get to them?
It's best if you're using Google Chrome browser. You go into dronebase.com, you log in with your information, and then you select the mission that they sent to you, and they actually have a button right there you click on.
Yeah.
And you just upload all your files there.
Yeah.
And then you categorize them into folders that they already have there for you.
Yeah.
And you just drop and drag them.
So
or drag and drop.
Pretty easy
Yeah,
interface.
it's very simple.
All right. So then, what are the payouts for that? It's the same set of pictures and videos for each job, right? So is there like a standard rate?
It differs on what they're asking for. So I've reluctantly did a $40 job one time just to see how much I could stomach.
Yeah.
So, as far as low pay.
Is this like the lowest paid
This is the
job
lowest thing I've ever
that you ever
seen.
did for them?
And it was just 3 images, one straight on,
Yeah.
and then one oblique left, one oblique right.
What did you have to fly for that?
I had the Phantom 4 Pro.
Phantom 4 Pro?
Yeah, they require minimum
How far did you
Mavic
have to
Pro.
drive? How much driving did you have to do?
It was just up in Springfield. So I drove.
How long did it take you to
15 minutes.
15-minute drive,
5 minutes on
half
site.
an hour drive, 5 minute on site, $40, $1,500 drone.
Yeah,
Now the batteries.
that is not worth it for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a hard case, to make. Obviously, there is a market for it, right? So if you want to be like an Uber for drones, then you can do that. I'm just not really sure if it's worth pursuing. Do you think it is, or in which case, obviously you're doing it, so
It depends.
You must see something.
It depends on where you live.
Yeah.
When I first got in with them, the average payout for the video was $150, and since I've only done 2 or 3 of those, and I haven't seen any video requests in a while. And now the payouts for the photos range between $40 to $90.
It depends how far you have to go to get those photos and what you have to do. So these missions, right? You sign up for them. Are they like time bound? Like, does it have to be
Yes.
done at some? So you don't get a choice.
They
like
give
when
you
to
a
go.
72-hour window,
Yeah.
weather permitting. So if it's cloudy for
Okay.
3 days, you can extend the window until
But
it's.
okay, so once you take a job, it's yours, right? If somebody comes in and says, "I can do this faster," can they take it away from you or not really?
Not to my knowledge.
They can't. Okay. The reason I'm asking is because say somebody has a full-time job already, right? And they're limited in the amount of hours they have available to work this. I don't know do you think it's a way to go for somebody like this, or is this more like a freelance thing?
Most of the time, people that have that life situation, they're not getting the missions.
Okay.
Because it's first come, first serve, and you have to. The
So
only
it's like-
time I've gotten the jobs is when I've been, Facebooking or Instagramming, and then I get the boom, there's the notification. You have maybe 10 to 15 seconds.
to respond
Yeah.
before somebody else grabs it because
Yeah.
it comes as a notification on your app. So it's kind of like Uber or Lyft, really. That set up the gig economy. I guess if you're already operating in that world, if you're, say, a freelancer, artist, and you may be driving Uber or Lyft or doing some kind of restaurant thing, bar thing, you may add that to your portfolio. Hey, it's a drone photography. If you're into it, you have the Phantom or Mavic.
Add it to your portfolio. I mean, the photos that you're taking.
No, add it to your portfolio of jobs that you have to have if you're trying to live the artist lifestyle, because they pay so well. But I don't know. For someone, I can imagine that it may be more fun than doing the Uber or Lyft thing.
Like I said, depending on where you live.
Yeah.
So, for example, where I live, it is not at all something that can be relied on. Maybe once a month I'll see something.
So don't rely on it either way. But
Not
if you have
here.
multiple gigs going on and this is just one of those things, then is it worth signing up if that's your predicament?
If there's a lot of them. So, with that said, I know Vic Moss, when Colorado got hit with tornado and hail, he did the roof inspections with them. And there's a process you go through, and I think it's through Eagle View. $70 payout, and he made, I think, $9,000 in 2 months.
Well, okay, so that's like a disaster situation. Again, you can't rely on it.
And you can't.
It's a
I've
gig
seen
thing.
somebody else though.
But
200
would you
missions.
recommend if somebody asks you? Would you tell them yes, no? Do it, don't do it.
It depends on how new
Depends
you
on
are.
what you do. Okay, and how new you are.
And that's the thing too about you have to also consider what they're doing to the market. How are they affecting the market? I think the biggest thing.
What do you mean how they're affecting the market?
Well, their pricing structure,
Yeah.
and then added together with their deliverable and how that affects client perception of what they're going to get. So when you get phone calls from somebody else, it's not that hard to deliver something better on your own.
Do you think that so you get a job and you show up and the client happens to be there. And they're like, oh, I kind of like what you're doing. Can we just get you next time? Because obviously, like Dronebase, if you're a person that uses that service often, you're always getting different person, really, just the way the system is set up. So there are inconsistencies. Did you have that happen? And what do you think it's a good way to approach it? Should you tell them no? Or would you just be like, well, here is my card, and would you just leave it to the client? Or do you think it's wrong of people just show up to the job and they see the clients there, so like actively market their drone skills, their own business? So 2 questions. What if the client asks for it? Would it be okay? And would it be okay for people just to say, hey, I know that I'm here through the Dronebase, but this is what I do. Call me next time directly.
So ethically, it's probably wrong to do that due to the fact that when you accept the mission, you also agree not to do that.
Okay.
That's part of the terms.
So you have to check the check mark. All right. So I would say, it's not a nice thing to do either way. If
it's not a
somebody
nice
hires
thing to
you,
do.
or you have an employer, or you take a gig, it's the same thing as doing it with anything else, really, any other employer. But what if the client just says, hey, can I have your card?
It's happened to me before, and I've said no.
What
and
did you do?
I said no.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They were persistent, though.
I'd be like, sure.
They were persistent.
Yeah.
So I did.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of a strange maneuver, to like refuse that. I get it when I wouldn't appreciate if people were like advertising, like openly advertising their services if I send them somewhere to do something.
Well, think of this too, though. When you have somebody that thinks that they're going to get a really good product with a random pilot for about $200, do you want to deal with them as a long-term client?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people will try to go that route and discover that it's better to stick to somebody they know and that can deliver consistently. But again, it depends on the client. If it's like a one-off thing, they may never know.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody who repeatedly uses services and now can see, okay, well, this guy can do this, that guy can do this, they will have a little better understanding. So one way to get ahead of it is to always keep your portfolio. Don't just depend on these services, because then you are an Uber, perfect your drone photography skills, and have something more to offer than many of these services. It's not just Dronebase. Let's talk about some others. There are a lot of them popping all over the place. I know there is one in Hartford right here. It's called, what is it called?
Can do.
Can do drones.
Can do
so
drones.
That's another. Did you sign up for that?
I signed up for it. Actually, I ran into the owner of that company while I was shooting down in Bushnell Park in Hartford one time.
Okay.
And he was running with his dog, and so he wanted me to come down and beta test their app.
Oh, you actually met him?
Yeah. And they're actually not, I don't even think they've officially launched yet.
Okay. Interesting.
It's still in the beta phase.
There seems to be like a whole slew of these apps, and
everyone and their
me,
mom wants to do it.
To me, it feels that, and you kind of touched with the Dronebase there, that the jobs already get taken so fast. Anyway, I just kind of wonder how many of these can really survive. It seems to be like a race to it's
the
that
bottom.
A race to the bottom when it comes to pricing and quality. Yes, that's my opinion of this. I'm sure there are some really good and talented photographers signed up with these services, so I can't really like bash oh, you're a Dronebase person, you don't know what you're doing. I think that these things will, A, dilute pricing, and B, they will become unsustainable models eventually. There may be a few of them left. It seems like a lot of people who somehow want to be involved in the drone business, and I'm sure the intentions are great. You wanna. It's that whole, hey, maybe I'm better off not digging for gold, but selling the shovels. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but all of a sudden, it's like a kind of gold rush thing, and that's like at a peak. And now you have all these stores opening around with all the shovels, but there is only so much gold and only so many gold diggers there. So it'll be interesting to watch how that evolves. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll all live. Maybe there'll be enough jobs to sustain everybody.
I don't think so.
You know what? I'm sure they're always going to be around. There's going to be a place for it. Okay, what others are there?
So the other one that I would recommend, even though it's, I would still call it a crapshoot. I've had some success, and I know some other people that have had much better success than I have, and it's called Thumbtack.
Thumbtack.
Yeah.
Okay, what do they focus on? Or is it just drones?
No.
Or is it
Thumbtack is pretty much any type of creative job that's
Service.
out there.
just creative, so not
Like
handyman.
web
not-
design.
Okay.
It's creative focused.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
When they first came out with the drone photography part,
Mm-hmm.
it was really frustrating because you can't communicate with the person requesting. You can only just bid, and your bids cost money.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let's say you didn't have an authorization somewhere or a COA.
Yeah.
Why would you bid on something
Okay.
that you don't even know if you can fly there
is that
yet
how they
because the
make their
address
money?
isn't there?
Is that how they get their money? There's no cut from the job. You get to set your own pricing. They just get their money if they let you bid on a job. Okay. How much is a bid?
I think it was. You're
Is it like
bidding,
an auction literally? But you're like put against other
well,
people.
you buy
and-
points. You know, that's how it works.
Yeah.
You buy points, and they tell you, okay, this particular job, because it's sort of based on what the client's budget is.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a nice thing because then you know right from the get go. And most of the time, though, it says less than $250. But
see.
so usually you're going to pay somewhere between $5 to $10 per bid.
And that's you're guaranteed to get it for
No.
$5-10?
No,
Oh.
nope. There are four
No, not to
four
get the
other
job.
people. There's 5 bids allowed per
Yeah.
job, so they're gonna make like around $50.
Oh, so wow.
Yeah.
And do you know what the others are bidding, or they just
No.
allow, they allow 5 people to tell them what they're gonna pay for the job, and then the winner takes the job, but nobody gets their money back. Like the losers lose their bids
Right.
too. Whoa.
Yeah, and that's why it's such a crapshoot.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
$5-10 a job.
Yes.
So they make like $40-50 for. Okay, so they don't need their cut at the end of it, really.
No, they're making it.
That's not well. I guess it depends. I mean, if you're paying for like AdWords or paying for SEO services, you're gonna spend some money on marketing one way or the other. So I wonder how successful can you be with these, and if you can make it worth
Yeah.
it. Like what percentage they're actually getting. If it's for like a real estate job.
It's most of the time what it is.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's mostly real estate.
Okay, so have you gotten some jobs?
I
Have
got
you
a
actually
few.
won some?
Yeah.
All right, good experience. You
I had one. It was a medical facility
Yeah.
out near Pittsfield, Massachusetts. But this was before I really knew what I was doing tactically with business. So I'm on my way to the job, and then the guy calls me, and he's like, "Hey, so we also need some ground photos."
oh really?
Like,
One of those
"Whoa,
on the
that
fly.
wasn't part of the deal. He wanted 30 ground photos.
And you have to
so,
come
like,
up with some decent ones. Did he pay you
iPhone.
extra for that?
No,
You use the iPhone, your
Yeah.
iPhone.
I told him that's all I
fair
got.
enough. Yeah. Oh well, that's what I get. All right. So
So then I got harassed by the people that worked there because they didn't even know that I was going to be there. I think it was a sneak shoot.
planning. That's all because somebody we've had it happen too. Where that's why I always ask the people on location have to know. That's why I come to people and always tell them, because you never know. Some people can set you up like that, and it's not pretty. But back to this, I forgot to ask. So when you see the job, right? Do they already tell you what the budget is, like what you're getting for the job?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not negotiable. You can
Well,
be
they tell you what they're willing to pay. So it'll say 250 or less, 500
Yeah.
or less, 1,000 or less.
Yeah.
You know what they're looking for.
Okay,
so then
so
it's up to you to find somewhere that works for you and hopefully works for them.
I see. All right. Any other ones than Thumbtack that are worth mentioning?
Droners.io, again, I've had zero
you-
success on that. Not one
Did
job.
you sign up for them?
Yeah,
You did. How long ago?
during the 333 days.
Oh wow. How do they deliver the jobs? Like how do you know there is a job available?
I have never even gotten a notification.
Oh really? No
Yeah.
emails, nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. So if you were to pick one or two, you would say Dronebase and probably Thumbtack
Yeah.
or Thumbtack.
Yeah,
or
my
okay.
friend Ed, he said he spent hundreds and made thousands with Thumbtack. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to.
And it leads to repeat clients, because there you're actually communicating with the client you're supposed to. And in that environment, there's nothing that tells you not to,
Plus
to
you
seek
can-
further business with
Yeah,
them.
plus
And
you-
I've had
you-
repeat business with some clients from them.
You establish that relationship. All right. Well, so that's the way to do it. If you don't want to build your I'm not saying if you don't want to build your website, but one way to do it is maybe spend money on advertising and SEO and building your website. The other way to do it is just literally bid on things on like Thumbtack or
Yeah.
sign up for one of these services.
It's pretty good because there you're not looking for your market; they're looking for you. So that is kind of a
Good.
plus.
And you can build up your skill from there too. So it could be a good springboard. All right. Well, I hope you guys are a little smarter about this than you were when you started listening to this. I know it stretched for a little too long, but that was a lot to
did
cover.
it? I'm sorry.
No, I asked a lot of questions because you've done them all, and there are a lot of people looking at these things and scratching their heads and wondering, hey, should I sign up for this? Should I sign up for that? Should I quit my job, buy a drone, and sign up for Dronebase? Maybe.
Definitely not.
Hopefully, we can help to clarify that a bit, and we'll see what happens going into the future with these things. It's gonna be an interesting part of the market to watch. That is for sure.
Definitely.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much for watching this. If you guys have any questions or comments, dronephotographypodcast.com or leave them right under the YouTube video, wherever you're watching this, and we will be right back after this.